Yes, boxing fans, it's Big Nige here. Welcome to our latest edition of Boxing Weekly Roundup. First and foremost, again, always got to show love to the people that tune in and comment and always show love to us. We appreciate you and keep it coming. Ratatata. Jarrell Miller has finally spoken after this whole drug scandal and whatnot. He spoke to Fight Network, I believe last week. Shout out to the interviewer because I thought that he asked very direct questions, done his homework, and clearly Jarrell Miller couldn't handle the heat in the kitchen. That's why he had to leave. Just to sum it up, I thought I'd get a lot of information from him because he's good with his words, gift of the gab. But all I got from the whole interview was, I can't speak on this because of legal reasons. I can't speak on this because of legal reasons. My brother, if that was the case, then why did you go and do the interview? You know people are going to be firing questions at you. To sum it all up, what I got from the interview was, before I even get on that, he says no one is more outraged than him. And he used the quote how he said, it sounds stupid, but why would I go and do the same thing again? Because you're a cheat and you think you can cut corners. Of course, you think you can gist the system. I used to do them things back in the day. Not cheating, let me clear my name, but always trying to do the easier route and cut corners. Life will always catch up to you. And in the sport of boxing, where they're trying to implement a clean sport, you will get caught and you deserve everything that comes your way. But what I got from basically saying is, he's a drug cheat. He takes PEDs, and he didn't openly say it, but he denied it straight away. Another thing I found quite interesting was he kept on talking about his due diligence and how he's learned from his past mistakes and how he's done a lot of research on what substances he can and can't use, what are banned and not banned. But you got caught for for GW 15-16, which was exactly what you got caught with the AJ fight. You got caught again. But he's saying that they don't even know the reason they don't even know how that substance got into his system from the first time. And now they may have an inkling of it, how it's still there now, and hence that's why he's brought in the legal team. Listen, you are talking absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It's all lies. You're just doing it to try and cover your back. The reports will come out and they will say the same thing. You failed your drugs test and you should be banned from boxing. It's that simple. Eddie Hearn, I listened to an interview with Eddie Hearn I listened to two interviews actually. The first one was with IFL Coogan, and he's basically saying that Jarrell Miller owes him money because they paid him money up front, similar to how Bob Arum and his co-manager paid him a bonus up front. And obviously, he's now in debt to Bob Arum and now Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn was supposed to get a cut from his fight with Jerry Forrest. Obviously, he ain't getting them peas no more, Eddie Hearn. It's nuts. Another thing he said with an interview with, Behind the Gloves, he said, these were his exact words actually. He said, I feel sorry for him because I think he has a psychological problem and I don't think he can bring himself to fight without taking PEDs. His career's over. I don't think any credible promoter will ever let him fight again. 100% agree with you, Eddie Hearn. I think it might be a psychological thing because you had to take it to fight AJ, the biggest fight of your career, and you've had a long layoff. Confidence may not be in your favour, and you've gone and done it for someone like Jerry Forrest. No disrespect to Jerry Forrest, I don't know his credentials or whatnot, but I can't assume it would be a tougher fight than any of the elite fighters that if he was to fight them at that time. So I do believe it's a psychological thing. He probably does need help, and any promoter that now goes anywhere near him, you're stupid because he'll probably owe you money anyways as well. Bob Arum, let this be a lesson learned. Don't think you can go and change a cheat. Once a cheat, always a cheat. That's my opinion. Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr. have been going back and forth on social media. To be honest, I do find these two quite amusing because obviously they've been rivals for years. And anytime they do have a bad word to say about each other, it's quite amusing, I can't lie. To cut the long story short, Billy Joe Saunders recently pulled out of his fight with Canelo, which was supposed to be, initially was supposed to be scheduled in May, but then obviously the coronavirus took place, and now Canelo's team are saying, will he be ready in September? Billy Joe Saunders is saying, 10 weeks is not enough time for me to prepare for one of the biggest fights of my career. At first, I was a bit, how can you not be ready? You're a pro boxer, you should be always stay ready. During the lockdown, you should have been ticking over because obviously you know the rewards of if you was to beat Canelo Alvarez. But after listening to his interview, there are a lot of logistics when you're dealing with Canelo and Golden Boy. 10 weeks sounds like a long time, but considering they'll probably do a press tour, which will last about 2 to 3 weeks, going from different countries, because obviously Canelo is a massive brand in boxing. So then that narrows you down to 7 weeks. 7 weeks and you're not obviously fighting fit and you need to get ready for probably the biggest fight of your career. You're not going to be 100% ready. So I completely understand. Good old Chris Eubank Jr. couldn't wait to dig in his heels. He puts out a tweet saying, you're not going to be ready in 10 weeks? I'll take that fight in 2 days. And obviously they're going back and forth. I'm not going to reveal the logistics because again it is quite offensive to all mothers out there, respect you. But Chris Eubank Jr., honestly, you're saying you will take Canelo in 2 days. Canelo will wipe you within 2 minutes of the first round, and that's just my honest opinion. You're quick to jump on a bandwagon about Billy Joe Saunders not taking a fight with Canelo. I actually agree with him to some extent, but then at the same time, if you're a professional, you must remain professional at all times, lockdown or no lockdown. You're forgetting you dodged Triple G. Till this day, I still ain't seen you sign that contract. No one knows the ins and outs, but you happily let Kell Brook go take the fight and let him go bust his eye socket, and then you want to do jokes about him busting his eye socket, but really and truly, that should have been you in the ring. So don't be quick to jump on the bandwagon. But again, these two have been rivals for ages, and I think Chris Eubank Jr. will always remain a bit bitter towards Billy Joe Saunders because he gave him his first L. Billy Joe Saunders is basically saying that I've got no time for Chris Eubank. He's not on my level. He's not on my radar. And you could offer me 100 million to fight him, and he won't because he's got nothing that I want, which is understandable. But boxing fans, come on, tell me you wouldn't want to see Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr. number 2. I know we all know who's going to be the winner, but just imagine what the build-up to that fight will be. Press conferences, back and forth on social media. It'll be a hell of a build-up, in my opinion. What can I say, really? Billy, despite the fact that he's now being trained by Roy Jones Jr., I think it's a little too late. I'm intrigued to see how he's going to develop, but I can't see Chris Eubank Jr. coming anywhere near Billy Joe Saunders. From when they last fought to where they are now, there's been massive improvement from Billy Joe. He's gone on to win 2 world titles. I mean, the best thing on Chris Eubank Jr.'s record is he fought in the WBSS, lost to Groves. He's got the girl on his record, but that's a washed up the girl, and he's held an IBO title, which is not even recognised as an official world title. So it's a no-brainer for me. WBC have ordered Luke Campbell to fight Ryan Garcia for the WBC interim title. I think that's an amazing fight, first and foremost. Luke Campbell was scheduled to fight Javier Fortuna, but he's pulled out for whatever reason, and he'll be fighting Jorge Linares. I don't understand, but cool. The winner of that fight will now fight WBC world champion Devin Haney. It's a great matchup, first and foremost. Luke Campbell wins it for me. But again, as I mentioned, I think it was 2 weeks ago when Garcia wanted to fight Linares, it'd be a great acid test for Ryan Garcia because we know he can take a punch. We know he can throw a punch, sorry, but we don't know what, he doesn't really have much volume coming the other way. No disrespect to him, but he comes across as an Instagram boxer where he shows off how many punches he can throw in how many seconds and so on and so forth. So this will be a great chance for him to prove himself against a very, very credible opponent in Luke Campbell. But I do believe Luke Campbell beats him any day of the week. I just want to add, WBC have been harsh on Luke Campbell. This guy should be champion, in my opinion, right about now. He was supposed to fight Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia moved up to fight Errol Spence. He was supposed to then fight Fortuna or Devin Haney, I believe. And then all of a sudden, WBC threw in Lomachenko to fight for the world title. Ludicrous, because obviously Lomachenko was a champion and you can't be ranked if you're a champion in another governing body. They now somehow upgraded Lomachenko to franchise champion, and Devin Haney now became WBC champion. And now all of a sudden now Luke Campbell has to now fight for another qualifier, eliminator, to now fight for the championship. He's been in the top 2, top 3 rankings of the WBC for years now, and still he's not been given, I won't say an easy fight, but he hasn't been given the luck of the draw. I do feel he beats Garcia, and I do feel he beats Devin Haney purely based on experience. But there is a part of me that does want to see, if Garcia was to beat Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney for the WBC world title. I can't lie. Two highly skilled prospects coming together at the early stages of their career for a world title. I mean, that sounds enticing as it is already. But my money's on Luke Campbell to beat Ryan Garcia, and I see him beating Devin Haney as well. But only time will tell. Watch this space. Bob Arum has recently revealed that Fury Wilder, the trilogy, will take place in December the 19th. On paper, it sounds exciting because it's 2 big names, but the reality is Fury beats him again. Don't get me wrong, I do expect Wilder to put up a fight, but are we going to see a different Wilder to what we've seen in the first and second fights? In a short space of time? No. He needs a lot of work. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and I don't think that will get done in such a short space of time, even though lockdown has been a positive in his favour. But we're talking about probably one of the best heavyweights of our generation in Tyson Fury. Too little, too late. I don't think he beats him. My interest is really when he beats Wilder again in the trilogy. What happens in 2021? I want to see him fight Dylan White, and I want to see him fight AJ. That's more intriguing to me in 2021. Hopefully we get to see that. But again, it's a trilogy. We expect Fury to come out victorious, and so do I. That's it for today with the Boxing Weekly Roundup. Thank you again to all the boxing fans tuning in. Have a blessed week. Peace.